With Mayhem 4 coming right around the corner, and of course the new raid, guys, you want to be ready with a build, and today's build is going to have you guys completely ready. Today I'm going to share with you my Shockanator build, so get ready to cause some mayhem. This is LaserBolt, and welcome to today's build, guys. We have an awesome build. This build is known as the Shockanator build. This build is going to have you completely destroying the enemy. You're going to be laughing at anything that comes your way, whether it be anointed, whether it be shield protected, whether it be full armored ones. It doesn't matter what comes your way. You're just going to be causing a lot of havoc with this build. Now, this build is kind of focused on having a couple of gear sets, so you want to make sure you guys pay close attention to that. And remember, if you are on the PC, I will be sharing this build if this video hits 200 likes. So if it does, make sure you just head over to our Discord channel and download the build. But before we get started and I show you the build, I do want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the system of your choice. To enter and participate, it's super easy. All you gotta do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered. Now, we are having a massive giveaway, guys, and that's gonna be live on stream. So if you're not following us on any of our streaming platforms, hurry up and follow on all 3 if you can, so you guys won't miss it. We stream on Mixer, Facebook, and Twitch. Alright, so now it's time for us to take a look at this complete build, guys. We're going to be dumping points into Brawler. We're going to be dumping points into Mystical Assaults and Fist of the Elements. We're going to get started with the first one right here, which is going to be the Brawler tree. Now, we're going to be investing quite heavily in the Brawler tree, and we're going to start off with Root to Rise. We're going to increase this all the way to 5 points. Now, this particular build is going to make you pretty tanky, as you guys saw in the gameplay earlier when you were watching the video. It's super tanky. You're going to be able to take a lot of damage. So we're going to be taking a lot of this portion from Root to Rise and increase our max health. In addition to that, guys, we're going to be dumping 1 point into Personal Space. Once again, guys, this is going to give us bonus damage on the weapon we're shooting, so really important. It's always going to dump 1 point in here just so we could get that nice additional damage there. Then we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Arms Deal. Now, what basically Arms Deal is going to do, it's going to increase our splash damage, and it's going to take reduction of splash damage. Now, the main point here, of course, is that reduction splash damage, because what tends to happen, especially depending on what you're playing, if you're playing Slaughter 3000, you are going to be getting a lot of splash damage happening and occurring, and it's really good to avoid that. Plus, having that extra additional splash damage is pretty cool. Next up, we're going to go and dump 3 points into Samsara, and Samsara is just going to kind of deal more damage to enemies with our action skill, and we're also going to be able to stack this, so it's going to increase our gun damage and our health regeneration. Once again, we're having a lot of survivability with this build, which makes it really potent. But the cool thing is that just because we have survivability, it doesn't mean that it doesn't make us so OP. Now, why is this build so important? It's because once Mayhem Mode 4 comes out and the brand new raid, the content is going to be pretty strong, and you're going to be taking a lot of damage, and having a build that gives you survivability but allows you to output a lot of damage is going to be extremely important. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Help in Hand. For a few seconds after using the action skill, Amara's arm remains active and grants her damage reduction. Really important, guys, and you're going to see how beneficial this is when you guys use this build. It does help quite a lot. And last but not least, guys, for this part of the row, we're dumping 1 point into Find Your Center. Amara gains increased melee damage. Now, there's times when enemies do tend to get close to you, so this does come in a bit handy, as you guys will see in the gameplay. Next but not least, guys, we're going to be dumping 1 point into Do Unto Others. What this is going to do, it's going to launch an energy orb. It's going to pretty much throw it at the person who's shooting her or the enemy that's damaging her. And it actually procs quite often. You know, when I first I put this build together, I didn't have a point here. But how fast this actually procs is actually pretty cool. And it does a really good amount of damage, so I kind of like having it there. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 3 points into Jab Cross. And what this is going to allow you to do, it's going to give you increased gun damage, and our action skill damage is also going to get buffed, which is going to make us really OP. And we're going to use 1 point into Guardian Angel. Now, you technically, theoretically, won't be going down too much with Guardian Angel, but it's always good to have it. Basically, this allows you to come back from life. So if you go to heaven, you're coming back. So don't worry about that. Now, I want to talk about Blitz, because Blitz is actually pretty interesting. So this gives you a melee overdrive. So if you aim, you're able to launch at an enemy. Now, this is actually pretty good if you are used to doing it. If for some reason you're probably going to forget from doing this, don't pick up the point. Skip it and move on to the next one. I'll tell you where you can spend the point out, and it'll give you a little bit more better results. So here we go, guys. Now for the skill tree, we're not going to be dumping any points to Anima due to the fact that our class mod is giving us some Anima, but we are dumping 3 points into Steady Hand. It's going to increase weapon handling and accuracy. Really important based on the weapons we currently have right now equipped. These weapons are going to require us to have really good accuracy and weapon handling. Then we're going to be dumping a total of 2 points into Infusion. And this is going to convert a portion of the damage dealt by AMARA's weapon into action skill elements. Really, really important, as this ties in perfectly, because this is going to allow us to not really care about what type of enemy we're fighting as far as shields are concerned, because it's just going to be converting things back and forth. And next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Tempest. And Tempest, what it's going to allow us to do, it's going to allow us to deal increased elemental damage, and shock damage is further increased. Remember, this is called the Shockanator, so we are going to be using a lot of shock damage, so make sure you guys keep that in mind. Now, we are picking a total of 3 points from Conflux. Now, remember, this is only based on our class mod, so you probably won't have these points active if you know, depending on your class mod. But I just wanted to let you guys know what points we're picking up from our class mod so you guys can better understand how the build is tied together. All right, so next up, guys, we are going to go to Mystical Assault. So for Mystical Assault, guys, we are going to be dumping a total of 2 points into Do Harm. This kills an enemy, grants AMARA a stack of Rush. Activating her action skill consumes all Rush stacks. For every stack of Rush consumed, AMARA's action skill damage is temporarily increased. So if you want to make sure your action skill is doing a ton of damage, you want to make sure you pile in as many as you possibly can. Now, remember the 1 point that I told you guys you could probably dump in? You could probably dump it in here if you guys want. And I'll give you another one that you could probably dump it in, so you guys could get more gun damage. So next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 3 points into here, which is Fast Hand. This is going to allow AMARA to reload faster, have better weapon swapping speed, and mode switch speed. Now, what makes this really potent is the fact that we want to have this reload speed, because the weapons we have in our gear are heavily reliant on us being able to reload fast. And you could never say no to reload fast. If you have weapons that reload, take a long time to reload, you want to make sure you get that, you know, reload speed as much as you can. If you feel that you do not need that reload speed, don't pick this up, just pick something else up. But I would definitely recommend it. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into Transcend. And Transcend is actually pretty good. It's going to increase the accuracy and critical hit damage for a few seconds after activating the action skill. So you want to activate your action skill, and that accuracy and critical hit damage is going to be on point, allowing you to do a ton of damage. Next, we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into Restless. And this is the other one that I want to suggest that you could definitely dump the extra point here, which is going to gain increased action skill cooldown rate. I actually dump the point here. So I put the point here. I went overboard. I put 5. Rip the dream. Well, you didn't want to have 5. You want to have here 4 out of 5, which is entail going to leave you with 1 extra point. And that extra point is going to go into Ascendant. All action skill augments gain increased effectiveness. Now, you could pick this one up, or you could just do it like me where I did 5. But theoretically speaking, the playthrough, I had 4 here and 1 here. So you guys can get an understanding of how the build works. Now it's time for us to take a look at the gears. So for our gear, this is what we're running, guys. We are running a Rowan's Call. Now, you do not need a Rowan's Call. You could go with the Rowan's Call, or you could go with this one right here, which is the other call one. Where is it at? Where are you, buddy? Come on. Which is this one right here, the Lucian's Call. You could go with that one as well, but you want to make sure it is shock element. The reason why is because this is a Shockanator build, and remember, we picked up that extra shock damage, so it's really important. In addition to that, you want to make sure that it also comes with the Anointed. After using phase cast, weapon damage is increased by 250 for every short time. Even though that short period of time, that 250 extra damage is extremely important. I'll explain how you want to play with this build. It's going to make it super fun, and you guys are just going to be melting everything. The next weapon, which is the main weapon I've been running, so theoretically I would have this in the 1 slot and my call in the 4th slot. The reason why is because this is the weapon I'm using a lot, which is the Brainstormer. Now, the nice thing about the Brainstormer is that it shoots an enemy, but it also links other enemies as well. And what makes it super duper awesome is that after our face cast, weapon damage is increased by 250%. So not only is it really powerful already, but after we use our face cast, it's going to get doubled increase, or actually not double, but 250 more damage. Now these two weapons are not like a major requirement. This one actually is. The Brainstormer is. The Call is not, but as long as you have these anointments, that is going to be your main focal point. You want to make sure you're getting that 250 extra bonus damage after you use your face cast. The next thing you're going to want to do is have a Transformer. Now, I have a Transformer that says, while Face Grasp is active, AMARA constantly triggers a Nova that deals 3,718 damage. Now, the Face Grasp I'm not running. Theoretically, I would probably want to run this one on action skill and regenerate 5% of your max health per second. So I would theoretically run that one instead of the other one. Now, I am working on a Face Grasp build, so that's why I had that one there. But that's what you want to go with. Anything that has an anointed perk, you do not need an anointment perk, but if you do have one, I would recommend you pick one up. Next up, guys, we're going to be using the Face Seeker, and the cool thing about this Face Seeker is that I actually think this is actually pretty good for this particular build. We're getting plus 25 weapon damage. We're getting plus 31 shotgun damage. So in total, with our shotgun, we're going to do 56 extra damage. In addition to that, we are getting 25% reload speed. So that means our Hyperion Brainstormer is going to be reloading super duper fast, because remember, we picked up the 3 points on the faster reload. In addition to that, we're going to get an additional plus 25 weapon reload speed, which makes it really potent. The next thing we're going to be using is the Tacular Hex. Now, this is going to be on action skill start, regenerate 1 grenade. So it's going to constantly have our grenades proccing. So it's almost unlimited grenades with this build, which makes it really potent. Now, you don't get the grenades like super duper fast, but if you're lobbing like 3 or 4, you kind of even don't notice that you're running out of grenades, because you're going to be using your face cast very, very often. Now, as far as the artifact is concerned, guys, now I don't have the artifact. I actually have to go pick it up here. Let me go to my vault, and here we go. I don't know why I was running that one right there. So let's pick this one up. And for that one, we're going to go to pick this one up, which is, where is it at? Where you at, buddy? Here it is. So we're going to be using the Deathless. Now, the Deathless is actually pretty OP. So what this is going to allow us to do, it's going to give us bonus damage boost. And it also says, while suffering of an elemental effect, increase your damage with the same element. So you're going to be doing extra element damage, making this an extremely potent build. And in addition to that, guys, you're going to be getting plus 21 action skill cooldown rate. So you'll be able to get your your cooldown a lot faster. And you'll also regenerate plus 149 health per second. Really important. And that pretty much wraps up the complete build with what you want to have as far as this build is concerned. Trust me, you put this build together, guys, you guys are going to be laughing at anything that comes your way, whether it be a boss, whether it be a slaughter shaft, circle of slaughter, mayhem mode 4, or the new raid. This build is the one you're going to want to take in to that action. Let me know, what do you guys think of the build, if you guys like it or you didn't like it. For those of you wondering how you want to play with this one, you want to make sure you use your face cast first. After you use your face cast, you then want to make sure you switch on over to your Brainstormer and just cause havoc. Now, there's one thing that you probably might be wondering, Laser, you did not show us exactly what you put as far as the tree is concerned. So for my augments, I put Stillness of Mind, and of course for my main perk, we used the Face Caster one, which is going to allow us to face cast everything that comes our way. As far as our elemental damage, I'm running solar, but theoretically shock is pretty potent on this build. So you could go with either or. Now, you're going to have a ton of fun with this build. Definitely try it out and let me know what you think. If you guys want us to share this build for freezies, make sure you guys get this video to 200 likes, and we will do so. Links to our Discord channel are down below, and I will catch you guys on the next video.